What's up YouTube? Today I will be reviewing the game Doorways, the Underworld. Let's start off with the bad stuff about the game. When you first do it, it actually looks really good, but then when you start getting into it, it just seems like there's just a lot of cliches and stuff. Throughout the game, it seems like you have to do mostly find the key missions, and that's really not that fun because you find the key, then you basically solve the puzzle by finding more keys by doing the same exact thing or some other stuff. The creatures on here are not really scary at all. They have potential, but they really are kind of disappointing. Another thing is the flashlight on here, or headlight lamp, is actually really disappointing too, because it'll go off without any reason and you have no control over what it does on here. When there is a jump scare, it's so cliche that it isn't really scary though, which is really disappointing on this game, because this game could have done so much for it. When you go throughout, the puzzles are really poor. It may take you a second to figure it out, but when you actually figure out one part of it, the rest of it easily comes together in like 1 second, because you just find the rest of the stuff doing the same exact thing. And when you actually put this stuff together, it just takes you to the next part. There was no real challenge to this game at all. This game has fallen into the cliche like most of the new modern games, where when you fail or die in it, you just start like maybe 10 seconds from where you died. There really isn't any challenge in this game. When you look at the older games, they were a lot better because they actually made it a challenge. But of course, like I said, this game falls into the current cliche of video games right now. Now, the good stuff about this game is, as you see right there, they actually hid the keys good. Then you see here, you need 3 keys. But you basically have to just do the same thing over and over to actually get through it. When you actually think about it, it just pretty much is you do the same exact thing over and over. That big guy, he has so much potential, but he can easily be fooled by just going through a doorway with no door, and he'll just automatically stop chasing you, no breaking down the walls. And if you look there, he has he has good leg design, but other than that, he's not really impressive at all. When you see this, it's actually kind of cool, because you realize you have to do a little bit to get that, and it feels good when you actually find that, until you realize you're going to be doing that same thing for the rest of that level or section. Not sure which it is in this game. Some good stuff, other good stuff about this game is how there was some moments that were actually really good with puzzles. Like when you go through this, how the quality of the water is actually really good when you do it. As you see here, it actually looks really nice. And I think that was probably one of the good parts. I would have liked to see some jump scares within the water, and maybe a little bit more focus on the water sections. And as you see here, another key to do the same thing over again. When you go throughout this, it's really just the same thing over and over. This kind of feels like I'm saying the same thing over and over because you do a lot of the same things. I think what would make this game a whole lot better was if they tried to make this more story driven than just the notes that you can collect. I feel like they should have maybe put more story into this, because this feels too much like a tech demo. Of course, tech demos aren't bad, but when you're actually selling them, it's pretty bad. And you see here, easily outsmarted that guy there for no apparent reason. See, right there, you die, and then it loads back up, and you just go and start exactly where you were. See him? Went past that doorway, he just stops there. They could have had it where he could have broke those down, and it would have been so much better. And then, in this level here, this was definitely a moment I thought was kind of good. When you get through here, there's the light thing I was saying, but when you start walking through here, you actually have a nice little chase scene where, since you don't know it the first time, you actually end up dying pretty easily. But then, of course, you start on the same spot. This is right afterwards. You just climb up and run from it and go to the next level. This was definitely the best part of this game. I feel like they should have focused more on this, because this was a whole lot better. See, that one was completely unexpected. And that's all. Except they had some good puzzles here, like where you had to collect some x-ray papers or whatever, and they actually had the code you needed on there, which was really cool. As you can see, the x-ray papers are there, and if you look at Skull 1, even though I didn't walk up to it, you can see a lot of good detail on it and see the numbers. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Peace.